I'm Kelly Pebbles, and I'm a nutritionist. I get up and I go to Sainsbury's, which is the local grocery market here in this suburb that I live in. And I basically do what you'd call like client finding. I go to people who are buying the groceries there, and I have a little look, see what's in their basket or what's in their trolley. And then I make a decision on whether or not they might be a good client. So for instance, if it's someone who has like crisps and like party cups and booze in the basket, I might be like, hey, are you having a party? If they aren't having a party, I'll be like, well, what's going on here then? And then they can have a shot at explaining themselves and their choices.
I know you've just launched a new range of healthy shakes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. The shakes are called Fruity Pebbles because they have a lot of fruit in them. And my surname is Pebbles. Kellogg's is coming after me. Post is coming after me. General Mills is coming after me. And here's the thing. Only one of those companies actually makes Fruity Pebbles, the cereal. But they have all joined together as a conglomerate of cereal manufacturers to punish me, an independent entrepreneuress. I think they see me as a threat. And they know how I feel about breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. Obviously.
What's the least important meal of the day?
Lunch. I remember lunch being a very, very painful time as a kid. Because I would sit down with my lunch bag and the banana that my mom had put in it would have gone so brown. And then the kids would be like, oh, your banana's so brown. And I'd be like, I don't know why it was yellow when it went in there this morning. And then they'd take my Hostess cakes.
Okay. What are the ingredients?
In a Fruity Pebble shake? Thank you for asking. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. Okay, so the ingredients include yogurt, or what you guys call yogurt. Yogurt is the base of any good smoothie, and that's a fact. On top of that is kale, because Kelly. It sounds like Kelly. And then whatever fruits are on sale at my local Sainsbury's.
So I tried one of your smoothies. It mostly tasted of kale.
Well, that makes sense because that's in there. That is a guarantee. Kale's gonna be in it. So if you're surprised that it tastes like kale, then I don't know what to say to you. I tell you whether it's got orange in it or moss or, banana.
Moss?
Yeah, because sometimes it's like I use like the garden in my backyard. So if there's like things growing that are naturally good, like moss has a lot of spirulina in it. Do you know that actor that used to be on the American television show Pudding and Friends?
No.
Okay, so it was sponsored by Jell-O Pudding. In America, pudding is like a glossy mousse. And so Jell-O Pudding had a whole cartoon hour and like craft hour on Saturday mornings. And the man who used to dress up as Butterscotch, his name is Pat Cranklepants.
Why do you laugh at his name?
Because it's Cranklepants. You should see me when I'm typing it. It is a mess. I can't even. Pat Cranklepants. Pat Cranklepants is my client, and he has been a client for the last 4-5 months. I don't smoke, but one time I smoked a cigarette, and I had 17 shots of Jaeger, and the cigarette made me get really sick on the Jaeger. And like now I can't drink the Jaeger anymore, and that's a science that people don't understand. You can't hurt me anymore, Neil.
And we've kind of glossed over it, but I think we should talk about Kerry Katona.
Has she lifted the restraining order?
As far as I'm aware, that's still in place.
Because after what happened, I'm not supposed to say her name in public.
I can say it though.
Okay, so if I don't say Kerry Katona,
you'll be fine.
Let's call her Sherry Shatona. was cutting the ribbon at a new Asda in Liverpool. A place I don't like to go anyway. And that city knows why. But I was there because I was trying to get a bigger client base across the Northeast. And I thought, first day of an Asda, there's going to be a ton of people in Liverpool at this Asda who have real dietary problems. And I get there, and I'm just ready to be part of the fun and part of the magic, and then start doing my thing and getting clients harvested. And something just came over me, and I shoved her out of the way into a display of Red Bulls that were going to be rollback prices that day. And she fell over the pyramid of Red Bulls. And then, you know, when like Canadians roll on logs with their feet? And then she rolled like on Red Bulls like it was a log. And then she fell over. And then she was on the Red Bulls. Like, you know what a hot dog looks like at a movie theater or a gas station?
Yeah.
How it's on those things that are moving?
Yeah.
And so she was like moving like a hot dog in a movie theater on a bunch of Red Bull cans that were still moving. So there's a lot of momentum, right? I guess like a lot of inertia. And what it did is it took her all the way down to the Albert Docks. And she got to the Albert Docks and it didn't stop. And the camera they were following her. And then she rolled into the Albert Docks. And then when she came up, she was all like wet and like her hair looked like seaweed. And there were a bunch of crabs hanging on her. And then a bunch of seagulls started pecking her. And then they had it all on tape that I pushed her. And so I got in trouble with Sherry Shatona and the Liverpool City Council and Board of Tourism and also the Seagull Trust and the Fishermen's Association for illegally removing crabs from the Albert Docks. Sherry Shatona, I am sorry for hurting you. And in that moment, I don't know what came over me, but that's not me. I am not the kind of person who would push a pop star onto Red Bull energy drinks, causing them to then go down a slope into the Albert Docks to be attacked by birds. Ah! Welcome! I'm gonna cut this ribbon! Asta! And she stole all the attention with her voice of an angel. I guess if there's one thing that Kelly Pebbles wants in this world is money for telling people to eat what I think they should eat. And what I think they should eat is breakfast, forget lunch, dinner,